Hey kids, you know what time it is? It's time to make the donuts. Hey, I'm Carolyn from All Day I Dream About Food, and today we're making keto donuts. I have plenty of delicious low-carb donut recipes on All Day I Dream About Food, but today we're going way back in time and revisiting a recipe I made back in 2012. These are cinnamon donuts with brown butter glaze. This is actually the recipe that won highfalutin low carbs keto donut battle a few months ago. I hadn't thought about them in a long time and suddenly I wanted some. So today we're making them right here, right now. This is an almond flour based recipe, and here I have 1.5 cups of finely ground almond flour. And I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of swerve sweetener. Then I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of whey protein powder. Gluten is a protein, and in the absence of gluten, another dry protein helps the baked goods rise and hold their shape. In terms of swapping something else in, you can always use egg white protein powder instead. I don't recommend collagen protein powder because it tends to make baked goods more gummy and hard to cook through. So we're adding our 2 tablespoons of whey protein, and we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and about 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And finally, about 1/4 teaspoon salt. And you're just gonna whisk your dry ingredients together. Now for our wet ingredients. I have 2 eggs, and I have 3 tablespoons of butter, and I have about 1/4 cup of a mixture of cream and water. You can really use any liquid here. You could use almond milk, you could use water, you could use regular milk if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter that much. And finally, we will add a little vanilla. I am putting in 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And we're just gonna whisk our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients until it's nice and smooth and even, and it's ready to be baked. Of course, you can't make keto donuts without a donut pan. I happen to have one made by USA Pan, and I highly recommend their products. They are some of the best bakeware on the market. They are incredibly durable, incredibly nonstick, and they're non-toxic as well. No matter how nonstick your donut pan is, I highly recommend greasing it before you put your batter in. So I usually just spoon my batter right into the wells. If you wanted it to be a little neater, you could put it in a piping bag and pipe it in. But you want to fill them about 2/3 to 3/4 full. Now you will notice that my donut pan only has 6 wells. This is a recipe that makes 8 donuts, so I usually just turn the rest of the batter into muffins, or I wait until they're all cooled and I take them out and I do another batch. And now my donuts are ready for the oven, and I put them in at 325 for about 15 to 20 minutes. So I've taken my donuts out of the oven, and I like to take a nice thin bladed spatula and just try to loosen the edges a little to make sure they'll flip out properly. You can see that they're nice and loose. And so then I'm just going to take a cooling rack and I'm going to put it on top and flip the whole thing over. And if I'm lucky, they all come out perfectly. Ta-da! That worked! Perfect! So now we just need to let these guys cool for a little while, and we need to make the glaze. This is a brown butter glaze, so the first thing we need to do is brown our butter. I have 3 tablespoons of butter in my pan, and I'm letting it melt over medium heat. I'm going to continue to cook it until it turns a beautiful golden amber brown. You want to watch it carefully because that can happen within 3 to 5 minutes. Once your butter is a nice golden brown, you want to remove it from the heat instantly so it doesn't burn, and you want to let it cool for a little bit. If you add it to the powdered sweetener too quickly, it'll just clump up like crazy. So now I'm going to take some powdered sweetener, and this is 7 tablespoons of powdered swerve, and I'm going to slowly drizzle in my browned butter, whisking while I do it to keep it from clumping. Your mixture's still going to get really thick as you do this, and you just want to whisk until you don't have any lumps. Then, to make it a nice spreadable consistency, you're going to drizzle in 1 to 2 tablespoons of cream. And you just want the consistency to be somewhere between frosting and glaze so that you can spread it on, or you can dip them right in. And you can add a little vanilla if you want. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon. And there we go. You can see it looks like frosting now, and it's ready to spread on our donuts. So I'm just going to take a donut and spread the frosting right on top. And there we go, guys. We have some gorgeous cinnamon donuts with brown butter glaze, keto friendly, low carb, sugar-free, absolutely delicious. For this keto recipe and so many more, please check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com.